heal up.
What can I do you for? Sounds boring.
You heard me.
If you insist, I'll make my way back. But don't be long, all right?
Well,
The Blade of Frontiers at your calling. Are you sure? The blade stands at the ready.
I'm sure.
And just when things were warming up.
Gale?
How can I help? I question the wisdom of that decision, but so be it. I'll be in the camp then, idling away the hours.
Sorry on.
My dagger-happy friend, what troubles you? Oh, darling, I'm hurt. I thought we had something special.
Please just stay in the camp.
Well, you know where to find me.
Shadowheart?
Something the matter? If you're sure.
I'm sure.
A shame. I thought we were doing well together. Perhaps I'll see you at camp. Farewell.
Lysel?
Be wary of false promises. The missing druid, Halsin, was it? He may be talented, but only a Githyanki Zathis can cleanse an embedded tadpole.
Right. Wait for me in the camp.
Are you sure that's the best course of action?
Yes. Go to camp.
Confirmed. Until then, I remain at the ready.
Huh? What was that? Okay, Lysel, I want to talk to you first.
Speak.
Are you sure a crash is our only path to cure?
Entirely. I was as devoted to my studies as I was to my training. Each creche contains a Zathis purification device. So I learned from the writings in the Kalir Library. The library was a gift from Vlaakith herself, that we may gain total understanding.
That kind of wisdom is very valuable.
Countless scholars roam the astral sea and beyond, observing the ways of our lessers, exploring planes so distant order turns to chaos and cold fires rage. The planes are ever quaking, and their peoples ever shifting. The Githyanki possess an eternity of knowledge. Yet we still collect more, infinities upon infinities.
You look so unusual. Githyanki are rare in these parts?
I expect I am your first.
I've never met one.
I suppose I am as alien to you as you are to me. I know of your kind, but I do not often encounter them. That large, fleshy nose of yours looks like a mistake. Better is an opinion, but mine is certainly more economical, disciplined, dignified.
Do you know much about mind flayers?
I understand much beyond your comprehension. More to the point, I know the cure for our condition. It is imperative we locate a creche. You do well to observe more and question less.
You know what happens if we don't find a cure?
Yes, in great detail. It starts with a fever and memory loss. Then you start to hallucinate. Your hair falls out, and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a mind flayer is born.
That's not going to happen. We'll find a cure.
Words forged in steel. May your actions express the same metal. We must find my kind and be rid of the parasite. It's as simple as that. The first symptoms should have long since started, though. That is what puzzles me.
You're worried we haven't changed? This is good news.
Yes, if you give it no further thought. But anomalies lead to surprises. Bad surprises. Besides, what hasn't happened may yet come to pass.
My past is a mystery to me. Could the parasite have caused that?
Ceremorphosis takes all of you. Mind, body, soul. An ordinary tadpole would eat at your memories until they were lost to the void. But our tadpoles are far from ordinary. I wonder if another factor's in play.
I've had these urges. I want to kill. I want blood.
Many a good warrior savors the scent of blood in the air. There's no shame in a capricious murder now and again. Too many, though, and you waste energy and dull your weapon. My suggestion, attack with purpose and savor your kills. And if the urge proves too much, well, I'm sure we can find you a goblin or two to carve up.
Alright, let's leave. Okay, Shadow Heart. There you are.
Something the matter?
What's the story with that old little artifact you have?
There's no story. None that you're entitled to hear, anyway. Just forget you ever saw it.
Those murals in the grove, something about them seemed to catch your eye.
What can I say? They were eye-catching. Consider me an art lover.
There's something you're not telling me. I'm sure of it.
I don't know what you mean.
When we found that saloon shrine in the cave, you reacted unusually.
It's nothing. Really.
Persuasion, we have to be honest with each other. What is it you're keeping from me? Ah, it's not enough.
What makes you think I'm hiding anything? If I have something to share, I'll let you know.
I still think you're keeping something from me.
You've already pestered me with your notions once today. If I have something to add, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
Something the matter?
My memories are all gone. Is your tadpole playing tricks on yours?
I understand why you ask, but memory loss is not as uncommon as you'd think. There may be other causes.
What do you think of all that's happened to us so far?
We've been through quite a lot, with likely more to come. Care to narrow it down a little?
You must have thoughts on our little stowaways.
Must I? Thinking about it won't help. We know what to do, so let's do it. Find a way to rid ourselves of these things. Personally, I think finding this Halcyon is our best bet. Oh, there's Ethel. Not that I'm keen to trust her. I'm not too hopeful that a Gith Kresh will actually prove our salvation, but worth keeping in mind.
What will you do if we actually manage to remove the tadpoles?
I suppose we'd go our separate ways. Not a slight on your company, of course.
No reason for us to stay together if we get on well. Where would you go?
Home. Baldur's Gate. There's someone waiting for me there. Someone I have to reach. As soon as possible.
Seems personal. I won't pry if it's not something you want to talk about.
Thank you. And you're right. It's a delicate matter. Not something for light conversation.
How am I holding up in your estimations?
I must admit, you've been a surprise. And not an unpleasant one. Kindred spirits are few and far between for me. Besides, you saved my life aboard the Nautiloid. How can I do anything but sing your praises?
Let's leave. Okay, Starion.
Something's on my mind.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, what's to tell? I'm a magistrate back in the city. It's all rather tedious.
Okay. Gale?
What's on your mind?
I think I have a magic artifact you'll be interested in.
Your enterprising approach to my problem is most encouraging. But it is a delicate process to keep my condition stable. I do not yet need to consume an item, but keep it close by. It will not be too much longer.
I was wondering, that condition of yours, why does it require magic?
Think of it as tribute. The kind a king might pay to a more powerful neighbor to avoid invasion. As long as I pay, there will be peace. But should I ever stop, along comes a war. I can assure you, the battlefield would extend well beyond the borders of my body alone.
My memories before the Nautiloid are shrouded in darkness.
Memory loss isn't usually a symptom of seromorphosis. If it is, they've forgotten to write it down in any text I've read on the subject. Then again, our case isn't exactly usual. Perhaps whatever's causing our tadpoles to remain in stasis has also affected your mind. If seromorphosis takes place, all trace of your former self will be subsumed into the Mind Flayer's hive. So, to still be here, if a mite forgetful, still a win in my book.
I have violent thoughts, depraved thoughts, ones that refuse to go away.
We all have those from time to time. I once wished a most impure demise on a colleague of mine who bought the last remaining copy of Etheril's Enchiridion of Enchanting Easements. It's a first edition, too. As regards to your own morbid little fantasies, I'm sure they're nothing to worry about, so long as they remain fantasies.
Thanks. Will,
Well met.
what do you make of Raphael?
He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think?
With the right teacher, yes. What are your thoughts on the devil, Will?
Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great.
Don't worry.
That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
Tell me, Will, how did you come to be the Blade of Frontiers?
My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. a child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse blared into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after.
What became of the boy, I wonder?
I left him with his uncles. 5 years on, and he's flourishing. If only every child was so lucky. I mourn the ones I could never save, whose cries I never heard. In the boy's tears, I finally saw the suffering wrought by the villains of the wild. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
And it's nice to meet someone of your talents. Having a worm wriggling in my skull didn't instill much confidence in the days ahead. With you as my ally, the future looks a little less daunting.
I've noticed your stone eye. Did you lose it in battle?
A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
Okay, let's leave. Arlak, where are you at? Arlak, Breaky.
Soldier.
How did you end up with such a contraption in your chest?
The year, 10 air. The place, a sleepy little town called Baldur's Gate. Our hero, Karlach, a knock-kneed delinquent from the outer city with everything to give and nothing to lose. I was a kid looking for a way to fill my days and make some cash when I fell into the wrong crowd. Worked for a guy I respected. A lot. Turns out the feeling wasn't mutual. Through the jigs and the reels, he made a deal with Zariel behind my back. You know Zariel, right? Archdevil of Avernus. She put this thing in my chest and set me to work. Well, to war. I learned quick how to stay alive. And the engine served me when it came to killing devils. 10 years of that. The stories I could tell.
You mentioned the boss who gave you up to Zariel. Who was it?
Guy named Gortash. Politician. Inventor. One of these wheeler-dealer types who seems to have a finger in every pie. I guess I was naive to think everything he got up to was above board. What did I know? I saw a job. A good job. With people I liked. Doing work I was good at. Sometimes I'm jealous of that girl. Oh, to feel so invincible again.
Sounds like all we need to do is fix your engine, find some infernal iron. What does that infernal engine do to you?
Gives me energy. Power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close.
You must be pent up.
I try not to think about it. I still think about it constantly, but, you know, I try. One of these days, I'll sort the whole infernal affair out, get myself cooled off, and start making up for lost time. But not today.
Okay, do you have nothing else to say?
Soldier.
In your expert opinion, what's the best way to kill a devil?
Depends on the type. Ice devils hate an inferno, but that's an easy one. Orthons love projectiles. What they don't love is getting their bombs lobbed right back in their faces. Demons, on the other hand, every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about?
What do you know about the city of El Tural falling into Avernus?
Wasn't all that long ago. I never knew the whole of how and why, but I remember the devil slavering with delight. I should have looked after the Elturans more. Gone out of my way to make sure they were all right. The long and short of it was, I didn't want to risk my neck. I let them get on with the nightmare, same as I had to. But Avernus is no place for decent folk. I'm glad they got out. So glad.
I'm drawn to violence, to blood, obsessions that could become compulsions.
Well, look. You've said it, right out loud. That takes guts. The guts you'll need to change. Or at least make sure you're channeled in the right direction. I've got enough enemies who could do with a good bloodletting, you know?
I have no memories of where I came from, of who I really am. Is this part of Metamorphosis?
I don't think so. At least, I still remember everything. In more detail than I wish. But, as for what's going on in your mind, and maybe in mine, I'm certain there are answers out there. We'll find them together.
It sounds like all we need to do to fix your engine is to find some infernal iron.
Let's hope Damon is as good as he seems. Once my engine's handled, I can focus on more important matters. Tadpoles, cults, frosty pints.
This isn't where I thought I'd end up. How about you?
Funny you should ask. I was just thinking about what would have become of us without that Nautiloid. I mean, I know where I'd be. Trapped in Avernus still, with the Blade of Frontiers on my tail. But what about you?
This is all there has ever been. I remember only snippets of red.
It'll come back to you. Maybe you'll recognize something we passed, or maybe we'll find out what happened to you. I get the feeling we've got a long road ahead of us. I hope we find you some answers along the way.
What do you want?
We meet again, as predicted. I shall be here in thy camp for whenever thou hast need of my services.
Okay.
There are important matters to discuss.
Long rest. Yes.
I'm so glad I found... Wait, it's me! It's Althera, from the Grove.
What are you doing out here?
I'm sorry for barging in like this, but I had to come find you. You've... well, inspired me. I want to stand on my own 2 feet, to prove that I can be half the bard Lihala was. I want to join you, to fight by your side. I want to help people, as you've helped me.
Safer for you at the Grove.
True, but I'm a bard, remember? I want to do more than sing about other people's adventures. I want to make my own stories, and I can't think of anyone else I'd rather share that with.
Leave now.
But I can fight. I won't hold you back. I swear it. Please. Oh, please.
Fuck.
All right, I'm going. God, you really are a bastard, you know that?
I just saved her life. Who knows what I might have done. Nobody wants a word? Nobody wants a word? No? No? Alright, guess we're sleeping. Go to bed. Full rest.
You open your eyes with a lurch, and you are not in your bed.
What the fuck?
You stand above a body which is in a state of gore nearly beyond recognition. The body of that scared girl who asked for nothing more than a night of shelter. Her blood covers you, and its warmth feels like the embrace of an old friend. You recall nothing of how you ended up here, but your head pounds and aches.
What the fuck? Okay, intelligence, investigation. Oh, that's not good.
There is nothing else here, and no one else around. You and the corpse seem to have been alone together for quite some time. No matter how it appears, the body is there, and her blood is on your hands. The question flows through your mind. Who are you, really, that you could be guilty of such bitter business?
Wonder what curse is in your heart to kill it in your sleep.
Something wicked must have woken you. The contemptible pervert within must have lavished slash after slash upon the girl. But where, oh where could that monster have come from? If only you knew yourself better. You don't have much time for reflection now. You need to act. You may only have a few moments before the others awaken and begin to cast blame for the hot sin before you.
Hide the body, hide the body. Oh no, I have skill mail vengeance. Fuck. Try again. Oh my god, that's even worse. Try again. Much better. Okay.
A light and delicate girl. There should be no trouble at all to toss her into a ditch. You roll her away, further bloodying your hands as you do. In lumbering style, you have gotten away with murder.
Oh, fuck. Alfredo's dead. Hello, Scratch. Nobody wants a word? Alright, let's go grab our people.
Speak. It is done.
Something the matter?
Join me.
All right. Some company wouldn't hurt on the road, especially if there's trouble.
Lord of Darkness, journal update. Okay, story on.
What can I do for you?
Join my party.
Darling, I thought you'd never ask. Lead on.
Gale?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Join me.
With pleasure. Lead on.
Will?
Well met.
I've got no memory of my past. Could the parasite have done that?
Seems unusual to me. Then again, we're talking about tadpoles inserted into our brains by rubber-skinned tentacle monsters. There's nothing usual about it. All the more reason to stick close. I think you'll agree.
I've got this bloodthirst, an urge to destroy, maim, kill.
Anger. I understand. We've been preyed on by elithids, suffered insertion of a mind-bending worm. Bloodthirst is another matter. But perhaps not too big of one, if it's a devil or demon's flesh you're wanting to tear. That's the spirit.
Arlak?
Hey, soldier. Let's go, go, go.
And I'll end it here. Peace out, everybody.